Rudy?
I'm just really excited to be here. I mean, thank you, team, for believing in me and putting me in this amazing situation. I want to win, you know. And when Buna told me 3 days before the trade, Buna is my agent. He told me that team in Minnesota was interested. I told him that I needed 1 or 2 days to think about it, and after 1 day, I came back to him and I told him that, you know, it was probably the best, the most exciting situation in terms of basketball for me. And you know, and a day later, the trade happened. So I'm just excited to do some great work with the community. Excited to, you know, I think this city has some great fans because I've seen them, you know, talking to me on Twitter for 9 years. So I know they do. And yeah, I'm excited to be playing with, you know, some really talented young players. And obviously, Kat is a tremendous player and very unique. So, you know, I can't even imagine all the things that we're going to be able to do on the floor, and you know, and all the great things that I'm going to do for this community, and, you know, to make Minnesota a better place. So thank you guys, and yeah, really excited.
We'll open it up to some questions now. We've got a couple of microphones being passed around. If you could state your name and your affiliation before asking your question. Chris, want to get us going?
Chris Hine from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Rudy, you said you needed a day or two to kind of think on it. What were you thinking about when you heard that Minnesota was interested? Were you surprised? And kind of how did you analyze how the fit was going to be here?
Surprised. I mean, that definitely wasn't one of the teams at first that we knew was really interested. So it was obviously me and Kat have been going at it for many years, and we're very unique and different players. So definitely I was like, the first time that Buna told me, I was like, can that work? And then I was thinking about it every day. You know, when I was going to bed, I was thinking about it more and more, and then I was like, actually, that's probably the most exciting challenge for me. You know, pair with a guy like Kat, and, you know, in an organization like the Timberwolves that I think really wants to win and is willing to do whatever it takes to win. And I couldn't hope for a better situation, a most exciting situation, and it just happened, you know, and I'm really, really excited to be here.
Do you think it's the differences between you and Carl's games that'll enable you to fit well on both ends of the floor?
For sure, and we're going to be very unique. I don't think there's going to be another team that is going to be able to bring to the table what we're going to bring to the table, and my goal is really to, you know, make Carl even a better player on both ends, and make his life easier and allow him to be even better than he already is. And I think his presence is going to do the same for me. And same with those young guys. I mean, Anthony Edwards has been growing and improving year after year, and he's one of the most exciting young players in this league. So I'm really excited to play alongside him, and DAngelo Russell and McDaniels, that's a tremendous defender. So it's, you know, just a very unique core of young guys, and a really good coach that complains about my screens all the time. So now we're on the same side, so I'm excited.
John Krasinski here from The Athletic. Rudy, when you look at coming to Minnesota after 9 years in Utah, the only place you had been, what do you anticipate just that transition from one organization that you kind of grew up with to an entirely new and different one? And do you see some excitement in a new challenge that way, and just a newness and a uniqueness to things?
Just a lot of excitement, you know, and obviously Utah is, you know, that's the only team I played for 9 years, and, you know, I've had some amazing memories, and I'm really, really grateful for all the time that I spent there and all the great relationships that I've built there and that are going to stay there, and all the, you know, I mean, it's my family, and you know, that is never going to change, but having the opportunity to just the challenge, you know, the challenge of coming to a team and try to take that team to the next level, and yeah, just discover a new state, discover a new community. You know, it's just a lot of excitement, and it's pretty new to me because I've been in Utah for 9 years, but it's just an amazing moment for me, and every day is going to be, you know, a lot of excitement to meet the new people, meet, see the places in Minnesota, and and I love nature too. So, it's different than the mountains. It's more lakes, but it's still amazing for me, and I'm just really exciting. I think, like I said, I think we both really unique. We both bring different things to the table, and I really think we can complement each other on both ends, and then make each other better on both ends. And if you would have told me that a year ago, I would tell you that I wouldn't think it would happen. But now that it came to life, like I said, I'm super excited, and just being able to allow him to be himself even more, to be even more dominant, and keep him out of foul trouble, keep him, also share my knowledge and him share his knowledge. I think it can only be a positive for our team, and I think we're going to be able to do a lot of things. Coach going to be able to do a lot of cool things, and there's a lot of things that we're going to learn on the fly, organically. And his passing, his shooting, his skill set, that's very unique for someone his size. All that, for me, I think I'm going to be able to allow him to be even greater, and allow our team to win at the highest level. And the goal is to win a championship, and I came here for that. I didn't come here just to be a good team. I came here to try to take this team to the finals and accomplish that. So I'm going to do whatever I can to help these guys take the next step, and help this team take the next step.
Pierre Nugent, Fox 9, right here, Rudy. Salut, bienvenue. What is it going to take to get this team to the next level? You mentioned the next level. In your mind, what does that look like, and what does that require from yourself and the teammates around you now?
I think just keep building great habits, winning habits, and a winning culture. And I think they started doing that last year. I think I played a team that was different than the team that I played the years before, in terms of, their will to win. And even though they swept us the year before. But yeah, their will to win, I felt like was different. And the culture and the way they were approaching the games, I felt like something has changed. And you got to give credit to these guys like Pat Beverly and all these guys that brought some grit to that team. I think my goal is to bring that and also be a leader for these guys and build the habits. And we've talked about it with Coach. That's offensively you got to have fun, and we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of good things offensively, and then build those winning habits defensively, and play as a team. Just enjoy each other and enjoy winning.
Dane Miller, Blue Wire. Rudy, in terms of Anthony Edwards and DAngelo Russell, what do you think you can do to help further unlock their games as players playing next to you?
First of all, get them open. I think the spacing that we get for them with my screening, with my rim gravity when I roll to the basket, and also my passing that I think I'm going to be able to showcase even more this year. All those things I think going to allow them to be even better, and that coupled obviously with the spacing that Cat is going to provide, and I think the way we're going to play, I think they're going to be able to get a lot of more easy looks that they've been able to get the previous years, and just they haven't been throwing a lot of lobs over the last few years, but I think now we're going to work on that, and it's another weapon that I think is really hard to guard, and I'm really excited. There's so many things obviously that we can talk about that we're going to be able to do on the floor, and that's what's going to make us unique, is that we're going to be able to have so many different weapons and so many different ways of playing together, that it's going to be fun.
Britt Robson with MinPost for Coach Finch. You got a guy like Rudy Gobert, obviously some pretty fundamental changes in both the way you play offense and defense. Last year, you prioritized defense in preseason. I'm just wondering if you thought about how you're going to prioritize this preseason with Rudy on board.
Well, I think certainly Rudy's a defensive microcosm unto himself. I think we're going to have to build a system that's flexible enough to be able to take on the different looks that we're going to see. Some of that's going to happen as we go along. Some of it we can prepare for. Offensively, I don't see a whole lot changing, honestly. The way that we play, we stick to our main points. Our philosophy never changes. We think that he fits perfectly inside of what we already do. We feel like he probably can do some things that maybe hasn't been asked to do before. What we love is the dynamic between him and Cat. Will now force teams to choose a little bit more about how they want to guard one or the other. And then we're going to have to figure out, how we exploit that. And that's the fun part. That's what the rest of the summer is going to be like for our staff.
He's been primarily a pick-and-roll player or a screener. When you say things that he hasn't been doing before, what things are you thinking about?
Well, I think, handling the ball at the top of the floor, in the flow of our offense. We feel that some big-to-big dynamic that Cat's an outstanding passer. And we feel like we can maybe operate in the pocket with both of them and operate in the short roll with both of them. And also just, work on some dynamic spacing, moving them around.
Chris, what did you not like about Rudy's screens?
They look like they hurt. But they were great.
Tim, you touched on it a little bit at the start, but to find an all-NBA level player that wants to be in Minnesota, how did you kind of investigate that part of it, and how big of a role does that play in the decision to bring him in here?
I think what I found in the league is you want guys that want to be here. It's hard to convince people otherwise. You're kind of fighting an uphill battle if you have to talk them to come and work every day and with a smile on their face. I've watched Rudy play since he was, 16 years old, so I had a familiarity with how much winning meant to him. Super lucky to Boone has been a long-time friend, so just kind of keeping up with him, and obviously being in the same division with Utah, you see him all the time, and you realize how much better he got each and every year. And when we were, a couple weeks ago, we put names on the board of who we thought were elite guys that are difference makers, and it's a very small list. Luckily, we have a couple of those guys on our team. So when you're able to add a difference maker and not, trade a guy in that kind of similar tier, it's so rare. So when we started having those discussions, more specifically, his name kept popping up. We're hugely fortunate that we have Chris as a coach, because Chris is so creative, and he's able to. He was so excited when we talked about the potential addition, and he starts whiteboarding and what it might look like if we were to add Rudy. So collectively, as the discussions developed, we said, we're not going to have many chances to get a guy like this in his prime. Rudy's, obsessed with his body, obsessed with his game. He's such a professional and how he takes care of himself. You're always trying to project and prognosticate, but it's best guesses, right? We don't know. It's all speculative. But we didn't think we get a call like this for a long, long, long time. And the final thing that I think is as impactful as of the obvious tools that Rudy brings is he doesn't inhibit anything we have presently. He makes it better. He augments what we have presently. So when you look at fit, it's not just about talent. It's about kind of developing a team. And when you see Cat and you see D'Lo and you see Ant, these guys, he's just going to make them better without kind of putting a roadblock on some of the natural progression we've seen the last couple of years. So collectively, all those things are unbelievably hard to find. And when we were able to pull the trigger, we were excited to do so.
Hey, Rudy, Darren Wolfson from Channel 5. Alan laid out your accolades. Tim said you're a Hall of Famer. Do you have a sense of why you're sitting here, why Utah was willing to trade you?
That's a good question, I think. Obviously losing Quinn. Quinn was there for 8 years, was a big part of what we were doing. Sometimes the window for winning is not always big. And then for us in Utah, that's kind of what happened. I think the organization felt like that we had maybe passed that window that we had over the last few years. And I think they're still obviously going to be a very competitive team, but they just felt like with all the assets that they could get with me, that it was better for them to go that way. And, and I think it could potentially be a win-win situation when, they also put me in a great situation to win. And for me, that's why I'm really grateful for that, that they put me on a team that I can, keep flourishing and hopefully win a championship. And for them, I really hope that they're going to be able to, to get better and better and hopefully, get to that stage that we were a few years ago, even though we didn't pass the second round, but we were first in the West. And, I think, it doesn't happen often. And so it's never easy, like Tim said, it's always speculative. You never know what's right, what's wrong, and sometimes you're going to make decisions. And that's what they did. And I'm still really grateful for that, and I'm grateful that he put me in a position to win.
Kind of piggybacking off that, Rudy, you talked about the different ways in which you might be used here and the different talented teammates you have. At this point in your career, is it exciting to come somewhere new and think about new possibilities that maybe didn't exist in the past?
For sure, and it's really exciting, And I'm the type of guy that was thinking early on that it would be cool to spend my whole career in the same place, but I also always wonder how cool it would be to get to a new place and in a new system and a new environment. So it's kind of like it's whatever happens, it's positive. And once again, I spent 9 amazing years in Utah. We've built something that was really unique. And that is never going to go away. Even though we didn't win a championship, I think those years were, great years in terms of winning. We won the most games in the last 4 years in the NBA. So even though there's no ring at the end, it's still a pretty cool accomplishment. And now it's like all those years and all that grind is, made me a better player, a better person. And now I get in a new situation when hopefully I can. Like I said, take this team to where we want to be, where this team wants to be, and that's really, really exciting.
Chris, I heard the word seamlessly several times on the transition. Is that simplifying it a little bit? I mean, this is going to take a while for everybody to know, how to put this puzzle together a little bit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there's no shortcutting the work, but we don't think it's an awkward fit at all. Every team is different as you put it together every preseason. Oftentimes what you plan for maybe in the off season isn't 100% right. Might take 20 games to get it right or to get the right rhythm. It's an 82-game season. Things are going to happen along the way that we're going to have to come up with answers for. But we see from a basketball perspective no reason at all why it won't work.
Anyone else? All right, we'll have a photo opportunity here with Rudy and Tim and Chris.
We heard for the first time from Rudy Gobert, who gets his Timberwolves jersey, number 27, 7'1", 30 years old, shot a career-high 71% from the field last year. That led the NBA. So did his 14.7 rebounds per game. Second in double-doubles with 53 of them. Third in the league in blocks with 2.1 per game. Rudy Gobert still in the prime of his career, signing with the Timberwolves and posing there with Tim Connelly and Chris Finch in Minneapolis for the first time. And this is big news for the Timberwolves to make this move. Marnie Gellner and Kevin Lynch back in the studio. And the biggest question is, what will this look like with Karl Anthony Towns on the offensive end and the defensive end?